I've always been a unique person, you know what I mean? Sort of laid back in a way, but very adamant and very passionate about what I believe. I think a lot of times that sort of throws people off because they don't expect me to have the mindset or the process of thought that I do. And so when you come in to watch my channel, you may hear a myriad of thoughts and ideas that could be different from others. What I want you to do is just sit back, like, share, and subscribe.
Hey, 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 good morning, everybody. It is great to be with you today. Any day that we are in the land of the living and above ground is a good day. It is a good day. It's a day to get it right. It's a day to start again. It's a day to worship. It's a day to praise our Father. It's a day to lift each other up. It is a good day. It's a day that we are all here together. Well, today we are looking at just a little white lie. And let me show you guys, because I ain't lying. I'm still in my house coat and I feel real good. The tooth is healing. Had one taken out, so I'm going to let you guys peek. We're going to peek really quick. Okay, you'll see one of my, okay, let me see. And what do I got? I got my coffee and I got my house coat and I'm relaxing. Okay, don't tell nobody. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Okay, leaving again. All right, there we go. We leaving. We getting back out of Dodge. I had to make sure that I let you guys know that everything went well. I know that I heard Roy mention that I had a procedure. Yes, I did. I had to have it because, there was something like digging deep into my gums and it was awful, and it was a tooth that had broken, and it was heinous. It was a really heinous experience. And so they had to pull it out, and they gave me some really heavy duty stuff to get better, to prevent the pain. So I took 3 of those over the last couple of days, and then I stopped taking them yesterday. So I stopped taking them. So whatever little swelling or pain that I get, I'll just have to weather it. I did get some over-the-counter stuff just in case, the pain wasn't as bad as after the oral surgery. So what I'm doing now is just taking that. So anyway, we're talking today. Yeah, because I ain't getting hooked on nothing at all. Okay, so what we're talking about today, you guys, is the lying. The lying. Isn't it terrible that you have maybe friends or family members that lie, and sometimes some people just keep it going? And you're like, hey, look here, you got to slow it up just a wee bit. Okay, just a wee bit. So let's take a look at what we're going to talk about today. There's a passage in scripture that I'm sure that all of us know, because it is one that we do, lean on for us to sort of curb the people from lying. So we're like, you know what? I know that there are scriptures that talk about the things that the Father hates, but we're just going to cut directly to the chase. And we're going to look at the word itself. And we're going to do a little bit of a Ronnie man, but not a complete Ronnie man, because, well, ain't nobody Ronnie but Ronnie, man. And we're going to look at falsehood and deception and all of that stuff. So what I want to do is let you guys see this. All right. So here, we're going to do this. Hold on. There we go. We got it. I got you. All right. So we're looking at Strong's right quick. So the word comes from shikr, and I don't know where Ronnie is right now. I should have checked him out just to make sure that all the words are right. But that's where the word comes from. and it means deception, disappoint, or falsehood. So I think that a lot of times whenever we sort of believe these things, that it is deceiving. And we don't walk around trying to just, aha everybody. It's not always aha. You know what I mean? We literally try to believe everyone for what they bring us and what they tell us. And so we never want to believe that people are liars. But don't you know that liars and thieves go hand in hand? Of course they do. Because in order for you to take something from somebody, you've got to either walk up to them and snatch it, or you have to get interwoven with that person and deceive them, disappoint them, and then give falsehoods, which is what we see right here. Okay. All right. So okay. So now we look and we see that word, and it's the word origin is from an unused word. Definition, of course, we have deception, disappointment, falsehood, and then we've got all these other ones: deceit, deceitful, deceiving, deception, deceptive. You see why I say that theft and lying go hand in hand, because they do. False, false hope, falsehood, falsehoods, falsely, liar, lie, lies, lying, lying vision, perjury, slander, treacherously, useless, vain, wrongfully. All of this. You see that? All of this. And then we also know that there is the passages that talk about, you are of your father, the devil. You are of your father of lies. He's a liar and you're a liar. And so we know that the liar and that the one of confusion comes in to rob, to steal, to kill, and to destroy, but he cannot do that without your help. And so we have to put it all together and understand and know that yes, it does go hand in hand. Theft, liars, it all goes hand in hand. As a matter of fact, you know what I like to do? I like to juxtapose the world with what we've got going on, because I want to tell you, a lot of times they have it going on too. They do get it. They do understand it. So let's take a look at this. This goes on to put it right in your face. And we're going to get to this part right here. He said, we all liars. Everybody's a liar. Okay, everybody. And this comes from, Science of People. Lie detection, body language, 9 things that you should know about liars. And then the story is written by Vanessa Van Edwards. She lying. Is that her name? Anyway, let's go. It says, you are lied to dozens of times every day, including little white lies. Here are 6 things that you should know about when, why, and how people lie. Don't come over here with that. Okay? That's what you want to tell them. Don't come over here with that. It says, you are lied to dozens of times a day, every day. They range from little white lies, such as people telling you that you're doing great, when in fact they're having a terrible day, to serious lies from loved ones and employers that have potential to change our lives. Being able to understand when, why, and how people lie helps you establish more honest relationships and prevent disasters from happening due to being falsely informed. So this is right here. In his TED Talk, psychologist Jeff Hancock explains some of the science of lying. Don't want to hit that because I know that's a YouTube video and I don't want anybody to get mad at us for touching their stuff. But what I will do is finish reading the rest of this story to you. It says, here are 9 things that you should know about liars. The first one, they put it right in your face. We're all liars. Well, we do know that the word tells us that, all have sinned. We're all born into this world. We're not of this world, but we're born in it. And if we attach ourselves to it, well, we know, I don't know. Maybe you could just, I don't know, this might, sometimes I get into topics and it's like, hey, wait a minute now. Somebody may not want to be called X, Y, or Z, but let me just keep reading this. I don't want to veer off. but I will go towards the end. It says, while you might not like to think, while you might like to think, that's what he says, while you might like to think you're an honest person, statistically speaking, you too are a liar. Which is what I was going to say. Researchers estimate the average person lies a minimum of once or twice per day. Then if you don't believe me, ask yourself these questions. And then I want to also mention the scriptures. If you all go and say that you're without sin, you're a liar. So there you have that. All right, so it says, do you ever give people compliments that aren't completely genuine? You a liar. Have you told someone you're doing well when in reality you're exhausted? You were exhausted and having a terrible week. Well, it just means you just, well, you a liar. Do you ever tell people that you're busy to avoid having to talk to them for an extended period of time or do something with them? Okay, you're a liar. If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you've lied. Those are just a couple of common scenarios that trigger the most lying. Normal liars versus prolific liars. So that means, you got a normal liar, which if there's a trip because you actually have a normal liar, somebody that's I just do normal lying. I don't do any fancy lying, just normal lying. Well, what's normal lying? I don't know. Give me a big lie and I'll tell you if mines are normal or not. I need something to compare it to. It says normal liars versus prolific liars. The good news is most people are honest. Recent research shows that the majority of lies are told by the same small group of people known as prolific liars. Now, I like to think of, let's do some P's. Prolific, professional politicians. Prolific liars. Okay, get it. Put all the P's together. And I can finally put all the P's together right now. It says in the study, variance in the prevalence of lying. Researchers created a statistical model for distinguishing prolific liars from everyday or normal liar. Here's how you can try spotting a prolific liar. Let me sip me some coffee before I get into this. Hold on. Y'all better sip while you can, because this just might knock our socks off. It says, let me make it bigger so you can see it. Make it real big. There you go. All right, we ready? We can go together. Prolific liars are those who report that they tell 5 or more lies per day. That's a prolific liar. All right, that's a prolific one. All right. Prolific liars tend to be younger, male, and have higher occupational status. Now, see, to me, I don't see that. I see what they're saying, but I don't see it. All right. All right. So the next one is they are likely to lie the most to their partners and children. Now that's sad. Don't you lie to me, boy. Don't you lie to me, boy. I don't like that. If you're my man, you ain't supposed to lie to me. And if you're my daddy or you're my mama, you ain't supposed to lie. But, well, it goes on to say that they are more likely than the average person to believe that lying is acceptable in some circumstances. They are less likely to lie because of concern for others and more likely to lie for their own self-interest, such as to protect a secret. Prolific liars tell 5.5 lies for every one white lie told by an average person. They tell 19.1 lies for every one big lie being told by an average person. But do you see how they try to delineate to let you know, hey, Alan Davis, I know you're not dead. But I had to put out the all call. I had to put out the bulletin for you, baby. I hadn't seen you. You better know I'm going to check on you. Okay. So they're trying to let you know that Okay, so there's a big liar and but don't you know that it all stinks? And I think that our goal as believers is for us to get to the place where we are honest and we can just say how it is. Because let's just raise our hand and say, yes, there have been times where I have said a white lie. Okay? All right. But then you know what? I'm going to tell you something. A lot of people do not like you when you tell the truth. Do you know how often I get in trouble just for saying the truth, just for saying what it is, just for telling people I don't want to talk right now, or just for saying, hey, I'm going to have to call you back, I'm busy, or just for texting, nope, that won't work. You know how many people get mad at you for that? But it's amazing because as soon as you're honest and you say that, well, they would rather that they consider you being too blunt. You're just blunt. And so they want you to lie to them a little bit. They want you to mind massage them. But I'm here to tell you that there is something good in just being honest. Nope, I don't like it. Nope, I don't want it. And let me tell you something else. We've all talked about in the past about how those who treat us bad would like for us to be complicit with what they're doing to us. And so what they do is they try to usher us into what it is that they're doing, and then we become considered a liar as well. Why? Because now we're hiding the lies of the liar and the lies of the thief and the lies of the perpetrator, and we become lies and drawn in because of guilt of what others may think of us if they find out that something happened to us. Or we lie because we don't want to let anybody in and we don't want to tell anybody, because we just don't feel like dealing with it, or we don't want to necessarily say, hey, this happened and you did it. We even look at the perpetrator sometimes in their eyes, especially if they're family members, and we just let it go. Why? Because we don't want to say anything. We just want to let it go. They're not going to say anything. So now we are complicit in the lie. Do you see how it goes on and on and on? If I could possibly get you guys to hit the like button, that would be awesome. Thank you. If you have the ability to share, please share it. And if you would like to, hit the super chat. I ain't gonna stop you, and I ain't lying. Okay. It goes on to say that people have an eye for thieves. People have an eye for thieves. One would hope that police officers, because they spend so much of their time trying to separate the guilty from the innocent, would be good at lie detection. Unfortunately, studies have found that most officers are now better at identifying lies than the average person. However, they do excel at one aspect of lie detection: spotting dishonest people in public settings. Now, isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? So they're able to spot dishonest people in public settings. Sarah Brown, hey, Seaside Princess, how are you? Maureen Olson, Charlie Sigler, love you, baby. So they're able to spot them. All right, but let me ask you this. How many of you guys know police officers who are really, really good liars? Yeah, that part. Got a few in my family, California, and they are treacherous. All right. And I know a few people who made it to become a police officer, and I was sort of startled that they even passed, but I guess, hey, birds of a feather. But anyway, it goes on to say that when shown videos of thieves interacting with innocent people while preparing to steal, police officers were able to spot the criminal at significantly higher rates than either police in training and students. This is significant because it reveals a common problem with lie detection. People often mistake stress as lying signals. The police are able to identify criminals in a public setting because as thieves are preparing to steal, they are more stressed than the circumstances of being in public would. On the other hand, during the police interviews, when innocent people are stressed because they are trying to prove their innocence, it is how people behave differently versus what is expected for circumstances that reveal lies, not certain behaviors in general. Familiarity effects on lie detection. Can you spot lies better in situations in which you're more familiar? The research says yes. Now, see, the research is sort of skewed to me because some of these things that they set up here, but then again, okay, now wait a minute, let's just say this. They did do their studies and they did do some peer studies, right? They did have a bunch of people to do it, but I submit that some of this stuff is a little off. Some of it is just a little bit off because, yeah, let's just get on with this part. And then I'll tell you why I believe some of it's off. It says in this study, a team of psychologists conducted 4 experiments revealing that situational familiarity leads to more accurate judgments regarding truth and deception. However, I know that familiarity breeds contempt, and usually that's when you'll find that people will lie and will cheat and will steal because they have no more respect. That bar gets lowered. The more they get closer, or the closer they are as family members, you'll find that more family members have the ability to lie to you in your face. And you, if you're an honest person, you don't want to believe that they are lying. And so therefore you don't get it until after something's done. I've had that happen to me, where I've just trusted beyond compare. And then I've just rooted for a person to get it. I really want them to get it. And so I help them, I bring them in. And then all of a sudden there's like another knife next to the last knife they stuck in my back, right next to the, so you see. It goes on to say that people who weren't as familiar with their situations could not distinguish lies from truth any higher than 50%, whereas people who were highly familiar with their situations were able to detect deception with a 8 to 23% more accuracy. Part of this is because when people are more familiar with the situations and or the people they are talking with, they have more baseline information and contextual cues to refer to. Now, wives and spouses, husbands and wives, I think you are possibly in that last portion category. You can tell when your wife is lying to you. You can tell when your husband is lying to you. Now, whether or not you want to deal with it is a different thing. Whether or not you feel like talking about what they just said or did is a different thing, because a lot of us have been sort of prone to not have that conversation. We just don't want to have the conversation. And so we find ourselves just leaving it alone versus talking it out and saying, hey, you know what? I know that you're not telling the truth. You know, I know that what you're saying right now is not true. And it's not because you found something out that you can tell them that. It's because you can feel it, you can see them, you know how they look down or how they look to the side or how they may clear their throat when they're about to tell a lie. You can tell. And so sometimes we don't want to have that conversation. But I'm going to say something. Don't you know that it's better to have that conversation with the spouse or the loved one that you fear having that, blow up, because you know that once you bring this truth to them, they're going to blow up and act stupid. It's better for you to accept the blow up and act stupid, or just cut them completely off. Give them a timeline, let them know, hey, this is when this relationship is over. If they're living in your house, give them a date. I can't do this no more. Here's the date. Here's the time. If it's a spouse, well, you're going to have to deal with that. But as it relates to relationships with family members, people who are more familiar with you will run you down with lies and theft quicker than anybody, any stranger. And the funny thing is we can detect BS from strangers. We have a hard time detecting it sometimes when we have love in our eyes. So then it goes on to say here in the story, people prefer to lie for their teams. Now, I'm going to say this, red versus blue. All right. Red versus blue. Some people will hold on to their lies, no matter what their team is doing. The team could be doing stuff as wrong as two left shoes. Like right now, you got high gas prices. You want to ask somebody, well, how you like your boy now? Oh, he doing great. Oh yeah, everything good. Everything going right. Well, as long as you can afford it, ain't nothing wrong with the gas price as long as you can afford it. Ignorance. But they prefer to lie for their teams. They refuse to get off of the boat when they see, okay, you do realize this cat is the one who instituted, warp speed. But you're going to hold on anyway. Oh, yeah, he did the best that he could with what he had, it wasn't nothing wrong. He didn't know what they was going to do. They lie for their teams. Don't allow the team to make you a liar, because the team would not do the same for you. They would not do the same for you. So don't lie for your team. Let's dig into this and see what they are talking about. They say that studies have found that people are more willing to lie to receive incentives than that benefit their entire team rather than incentives that are just for themselves. What an idiot. For example, employees are more likely to lie to their boss about the progress of a project when doing so prevents their entire team from getting in trouble rather than just themselves. And as a former boss, I don't care whether you was lying for the team or not. If you lying, I'm dealing with you. I will pull you right out of the bunch. I'm going to get them too, but I'm going to pull you out the bunch and I'm going to deal with you for your lie. And I'm going to get that part of the teamwork out of you. Because that part of the teamwork don't make the dream work. And I'm going to let you know, I'm going to help you out. Either I'm going to help you out and let you learn, or I'm going to help you out the door. But if you're lying and you're a part of a team because you don't want to tell the boss the truth, then you'll lie for yourself and you'll lie by yourself. And those types of lies are the ones that get you in danger, especially if you're working in negotiable environments. Especially if you're working in negotiable environments, especially if you're working in environments that you can be easily blackmailed in. Especially if you're working with government contracts or in any form of government, any hierarchy of anything. You get to line for the team and you take that one for the team is going to bow out gracefully. You thinking that the team is right behind you because you and the team there have been many people that have gone down in politics simply because they want to, they want to hold out for the team. Okay? They want to hold out for the team. So don't take one for the team, because the team won't take one for you. And especially if you notice you're the only person that's been signing stuff and you think you're taking one for the team. No, sir, you're not. Oh, they just want me to sign it. We all know what's going to happen at the end. We're going to do X, Y, Z. So I'm going to go ahead and sign this and get. No, sister, brother, you going bye-bye. You are going bye-bye. They ain't going bye-bye. You are. There's some real stuff going on right now today where people don't even realize that because of what they're doing and their actions and their cheating, they think that, oh, well, you can't. So what are you going to undo signed things that are signed, wet copies of things? How can you undo a wet copy of something? I'm talking to somebody, whether it's now or in the replay. Don't sign your name to stuff. Don't get yourself involved in crap. Okay, so if it's that easy, then you sign it. Tell them, well, if it's that easy, you go right ahead and do it. No, this is a job. All I do is clock in and clock out, baby. You're not going to have me going up the river. Bankers, people who are in banking, people who are in taxes, people who are in banking, people who are in taxes, people who are dealing with negotiables, people who are dealing with other people's credit card numbers, people who are dealing with other people's credit card numbers in any facet. Do not concern yourself about their credit card number. Put it in the POS and then that's it. Do not write down people's credit card numbers. Whoever you are, do not do it. Don't leave it sitting around, because it may not be you that uses the card. It'll be somebody else, but because it was on your watch and you weren't supposed to write it down, and that one particular time you just decided not to do the protocol, now you in trouble. Even if you're working at home, you know you got some nefarious folks walking in and out, that will get you. They will have you hung up for a lie somebody else did. Identity theft that was not their card. Researchers suspect the willingness to lie in team environments isn't entirely selfish, though. Do you see how slanted some of these scientific things are? It's always selfish. Though in group environments, people tend to feel less guilty for lying because they are helping others. They are less afraid to lie because there is less of a chance of them being caught and suffering the entire blame because everyone on their team is implicated. That, my friend, my sister, my brother, is a lie. There is always a fall guy. There is always a scapegoat. Always. It's not just one cat. It's not just 12 cats. That you the one that's lying, then you're going to be that one cat. You will be that one cat. Trust me and believe. You'll be that one cat. Yep, it'll be you. Nobody but you. The frequency of lying does change based on the medium, but it can't change. But can it change within the same? Researchers have found that people are more likely to lie when using email versus pen and paper. Now that to me is stupid, because you figure if you're lying in email, that's a paper trail. Why would you even do that? Yeah, I said that. I had a law professor that taught us, don't if you don't want the other side to know anything, don't put it in writing. Do not put it in writing. So it goes on to say that both are the same in terms of media richness, meaning both forms are text only, yet people lie more, reveal less information, and feel more justified when using email than when sending a message via pen and paper, according to the study. The findings were consistent. Whether the task assured participants that their lie either would or would not be discovered by their counterparts. Memories of liars, for the majority of people, lying about an event increased their certainty that the event in question did not happen when asked about it later. Wow. Listen to that. For the majority of people, lying about an event increased their certainty that the event in question did not happen when asked about it later. The majority of people lying about an event increase the certainty that the event did not happen when asked about it later. Wow. However, 10 to 16% of the participants appeared to have their memories altered by their lies, because they reported believing their lies were actually true. Researchers believe that in those cases, telling lies wields the power as the imagination to alter memories. Yes, it did. No, that didn't happen. Yes, it did. I was sitting right there when you did it. No, you lied and said that I did it, but I never did it. It was you who did it. No, it was you. No. You the Hegelian dialectic. Dialectic. You did it. You did it, and then you ran around here and said you fixed it, but you was the one who did it. Nope. Do you know that there are people that are mentally like that? They believe the lies that they tell because they tell it enough. Keep telling that same lie, and then all of a sudden history writes it down as a truth. It says, very clearly imagining events can trick the brain into labeling them as a memory. Bilingual lying. If you think it's hard to lie in your native tongue, try lying in a second language. Researchers have found that people show a greater stress response when lying in a second language because it's already more challenging to speak in the second language. And lying increases the cognitive stress. In one specific study, results suggest that two main factors affect the physiological nature of an individual while they lie in another language: arousal due to emotions associated with lying, and anxiety about managing speech production in the native language. Liars struggle to answer questions. And I'm laughing because I'm thinking of when you are dealing in management and you are speaking with employees, or you're doing an investigation. I had to go into one state and do an investigation one time, and you're not in that location, but it's a pretty big one if you have an EEOC involvement. So if they've got involved in something and you have to walk in and do an investigation, you have to ask a lot of questions. And so you're sitting there and you're not only asking the questions, but you're very calm and you're asking the questions and you're looking at the person's eyes darting around. You're looking at their body language. They're uncomfortable in the chair and they wiggling. You ask them questions, and then after they give you the answer, you repeat what they said back and you say, okay, so you were there that day, huh? Okay, at the beginning you said you weren't, but you were there? Oh, no, I wasn't there. Okay, so how do you know that XYZ happened? Oh, because such and such told me. So it's funny because they struggle to answer questions. They struggle to answer why questions. Why questions. Well, why did you say that? Or why did you do that? Or why were you there? Weren't you were supposed to be at X, Y, or Z, right? Right. Normally on Wednesday you said that you're here. Yes. Well, why were you there? Huh? I love why was I there? I love those. They're hilarious to me. So it says that if you suspect someone might be lying to you, but you aren't sure, an easy way to find out is ask them why. It is much more difficult for people to lie about why they did something or why something happened than it is for them to lie about the basic facts. If someone struggles to explain their intentions, it's a major red flag that they're lying. Okay? There's Vanessa. Okay. So it's a red flag that shows that they're lying. You want to know how to tell that somebody's lying? Well, there's lots of ways. Of course, you can look at them in their eyes and you can watch how they move, but all human beings possess the ability to lie. As many of us do, multiple studies have suggested that, on average, Americans tell 1 or 2 lies a day. Fortunately, experts say that there are ways to spot signs of untruthfulness. To identify a fib, you must first have the baseline for how someone acts when they're being honest. Tracy Brown, body language expert and author of How to Detect Lies, Fraud, and Identity Theft Field Guide. For example, watch when someone responds to basic questions such as, where are you from? Where do their eyes go? How does their voice sound? Tracy asks. Okay. Once you've established that baseline, then you're going to look for shifts in the behavior in 4 different categories: bodily movement, facial expressions, tone of voice, and content of speech, says Dr. Lillian Glass, the author of The Body Language of Liars. Those are the codes of communication, she says. The signs, however, aren't foolproof. So we're going to watch this quick little video here and see what it says. Hold on. The amygdala is the brain's emotional processing hub, so each repeated lie causes less of an emotional response. In other words, participants found lying easier. They found it easy to do. They found it easy to do. No, we don't want to see that. Go away. I do want to see that again, though. I wonder if it'll let me. No, it won't. But I did want to. Let's see if we can see it again. Did you guys see that, though? But did you see that it's the amygdala? Remember when Dr. B has been with us, he talks about the amygdala. He talks about different parts and different areas in the brain. Yes, pathological liars. Yes, it becomes the truth. That's absolutely right, Maureen. Hey, Lady M, it's good to see you. Yeah. So, as we look, it says here, the hands of liars, here's some of the body cues. The hands of liars. Liars tend to use gestures with their hands after they speak as opposed to during or before a conversation, says Tracy Brown. Now, I know people who speak and use hand gestures after they speak, and they're really good people. I know some people with Asperger's and some people with different disorders that do that. So, okay, we get it. So Tracy Brown, who has participated in a deception training program with members of the FBI liars and occasionally helps work with on investigations. Quote, the mind is doing too many things, including making up the story, figuring out if they are being believed, and adding the story accordingly, she says. So normal gesturing that might normally happen just before a statement happens after a statement. Okay. In 2015, in a 2015 study conducted by the University of Michigan, looked at 120 media clips of high-stakes court cases, in order to understand how people behave when lying versus when they're being truthful. The study found that those who lie are more likely to gesture with both hands than those who are telling the truth. People gestured with both hands in 40% of the lying clips compared to just 25 of the truthful tips. That's not true, because I talk with my hands and I ain't no liar, although I have told a couple of doozies. It goes on to say that when people are being dishonest, they tend to face their palms away from you. Says Tracy Brown, who regularly gives keynote speeches. I wonder if we can find anything where she's doing some of these. The tone of voice is another way. Content of speech is another way. There's a couple of other ones that she says here. Change in complexion. You want to say, you okay? The mouth rolling their lips to the point where it's almost going to disappear as a sign of someone is lying by omission. Rolling their lips back to the point where they almost disappear. Child, that can't happen in our family because we got some thick lips. That's not going to happen with us. You ain't going to be able to do that with none of us. Okay, so it also goes on to talk about the facial cues. The eyes is where that came from. Itching and fidgeting, rocking the body back and forth, cocking the head to the side, or shifting the feet can also be signs of deception. Okay, so those are all signs of deception. So let's just find out about some things that our Father dislikes and why. All right. There are 6 things. 6 things. There are 6 things that the Lord hates, and I'm reading it in context. 7 that are detestable to him. 1, haughty eyes. Haughty eyes. That means looking up high. I'm just better than everybody. And that goes along with a lying tongue. And that's the reason why you find a lot of politicians who do it so well. They can look you right in the eyes. They can look you right there and say in the camera that this is what they plan on doing. And then they turn right around and don't do it. Why? Because they don't feel like they owe you anything. They're high and mighty. They're haughty. They have haughty eyes. A lying tongue goes right along with that. Hands to shed innocent blood. Why do haughty eyes, lying tongues, and hands that shed innocent blood going together? Well, because it's that deception that we talked about when we were looking at the interlinear. The deception, deceitfulness. Verse 18 says, a heart that devises wicked schemes. Doesn't that sound like Bernie Madoff and all those cats that go out and make these big schemes and they lie? They tell you that it's something going on and it really isn't anything. And again, you go back to the Hegelian dialectic where they tell you, oh, you know what? The sky's falling. Well, they may have pulled a piece of it down, and then after that, they run and say it's falling so they can fix it for you. So they'll create the problem. They'll be the arsonist. And they'll also be the first from the, first responders to arrive on the scene. They'll cause the problem. Then they'll run right around and become the hero. And there, I fixed it for you. To coin Bettina's phrase. There, fixed it for you. They will go out and do it, and after they do it, they'll come back and say, there, I fixed it. And there are things that they do can literally change the face of the circumstances. So our Father hates haughty eyes, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood. Well, I had to do it in order to cover up for the first lie. Do you understand? So then you find people say, well, I had to do it. I didn't want to do it, but there was no other way to get this story done unless I did it, because no one needed to know that I did it. Hey, baby, it's good to see you, Constance. No one could know that I did it, so I had to hide the body. So a heart that devises wicked schemes. Why are we dealing with the heart? Because everything is a matter of the heart. telling the lie completely, believing that they're all after you, so you had to do something to them. No, it's inside of the heart, and out of the abundance of the heart your mouth talketh. And as your mouth talketh, your hands doeth. But it says here that the Father does not like a heart that devises wicked schemes. Feet that run swiftly to evil. Ooh, what you got to talk about now? What you got to do now? What we got to come up on some money with now? How we gonna do it? Feet that run swiftly to evil. You see, and this is what's running our country right now. This is what's running our current circumstance right now. These are the spirits that are enacting right now. These are the ones that you see that you're dealing with right now. This is the lie. Starts out as just a little white lie, then ends up being a bigger lie. And then, of course, it's not just lying for oneself. As we just saw, it's lying for the team, taking one for the team, because that's what will happen. It'll be sacrificed. One person will be sacrificed for all the lies. I just saw somebody lie, and it was amazing to me because she was standing in front of a microphone when asked about cell phones that were being given to illegal immigrants. And she literally said, well, it's because we want to be able to keep up with them. We want to be able to keep up with them. We want to be able to look and find where these people are because, well, they've got to come back to go to court. So we're giving them the cell phones with your tax dollars. And we want to be able to keep up with them. Eventually, we're going to give them some ankle monitors. Why don't you eventually just send them back where they came from, and therefore you don't have to stand here and lie, nor did you have to go on ahead and say, forget it, I can't take the lies anymore. I'm just going to leave I'm just going to leave the White House, and I'm going to go into, doing reporting, because this right here, I can't take it. You see, and that's another thing. When people are put in a position where they have to lie to the collective for the quote-unquote greater good of the liars, they physically cannot take it. You'll find those are the individuals who have high blood pressure. You'll find those are the individuals who constantly lie because their body, see, what happens is the body puts off a specific chemical when you're in those fight or flight situations, and when you're in issues and situations where you've got to, sort of curve around and maneuver the truth and maneuver a lie for your boss or somebody else. It puts you in a terrible situation. I remember one time my former boss, when I work in logistics. So we did logistics as well as demolition, all right, out in Georgia, very big company. And this boss was so nefarious in the way he liked to deal with people. Tell them I'm going to run a Peterbilt up into their building. You do it and you tell them now. If we don't have those checks by the end of the day, you tell them your boss, man, please. I would listen to that cat and edit everything he told me to say. I would note everything down. And then I would be like, okay, this is going to get you put in jail because that's a terroristic threat. I ain't going to tell them that. This right here is just totally unprofessional, and you're going to lose your whole bit of respect for everybody going to not respect you for this. I know you've done it before, but you're not doing it with my mouth. So I would fix it, and I would just change it up, and I would say, hello, we just need to find out the date and time that you're going to have that first draw available. I'll be happy to pick it up for you. If you do not have a courier available, I'll be by the office at 3:00 if that works for you. Why? Because you get more flies with honey. And if you just tell the truth respectfully, you'll be all right. But you see, what we're dealing with right now is we have a lot of people who are doing the lying in their face. They get in their face and tell people, this is the reason why we are paying for cell phones. The United States, you, me, everybody else, we giving smartphones to illegal people right now. Did y'all know that? And girlfriend got in a press conference and tried to clear up why they were doing it. So I'm going to tell you why we are in our heart devising these wicked schemes to destroy where we live. It also goes on in verse 19, says, a false witness who gives false testimony. Do y'all hear me? He don't like it. He don't like it. He don't like it. And one who stirs up discord among the brethren, among the brothers. So the little white lie that you thought you were telling just to keep a secret, or the little white lie, leaf desi, hey, The little white lie that you thought you were just telling just to keep the peace, it doesn't work. So if this is an issue that you have, it's okay. Sin is sin. Lay that at the altar. Sin is sin. Lay it at the altar. It's all right. It's not the end of the world. But what it is an opportunity for you to lay that one thing down. Because you don't want that one thing to be the thing that prevents you from making it in. You can do it. You can do it. First of all, you got to recognize that it's just a part of life, that it's just one other hurdle that you got to go through, that we have all sinned and come short of the glory. All of us. And none of us are better than the next person. Are you having a problem with this? Do you have somebody that you can trust? Do you have somebody that you trust that can see through your mess, and you know they can see through your mess, but they love you and they never throw it back in your face? Then take that to them. Have them make you accountable. And then here's what I want to tell you. It's okay not to please everybody. Men, it's okay. You don't have to please everybody. Be honest. And don't let people browbeat you into saying, well, you know what, you're just too curt. I don't like how you handled that. You're just too brutish. You're toxic. Men, be men. Stand up. If it's something that you know is not healthy or good, don't beat around the bush. You just blatantly say, that does not work for me. It does not work for me. It doesn't. I'm so sorry. That don't work for me. You ain't even got to be sorry. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Women, stop pushing your man to lie to you. Do I look good in this dress? And we know we put on extra pounds. Then we get mad when they, Don't push a person to lie to you. Don't set a stage or orchestrate a situation where people would have to lie. I mean that, because we know we can do that. Humans can do that. Don't try to catch somebody in one. It would be better for you to just go and say, hey, you know what? I know that there's a bit of untruthfulness here, and I know it may be hard for you, but I want to let you know something. I can't be complicit with that. I can't comply with that. I can't go for that. No can do. You got to be honest, and you don't set the stage for others to lie. And when you find somebody lying, you know if they're explosive, they're not going to get it. So you need to separate yourself from that person, because eventually one of the lies that they tell, even though you kiki at it and you be over there laughing at them and how they keep going, eventually one of those lies you kiki at is going to come at you. So, hey, is it just a little white lie if it affects the body? And what is the difference between a white lie and a big lie? They all lies. We have to do better. Let's all of us collectively attempt to do better. When you feel like you have to say something to somebody and you don't want to hurt them, I don't want to hurt you, so I'm just going to go along to get along. That's not cool. Don't do them like that, y'all. Don't lie just to prevent hurting somebody. Don't do that. Don't do that. Why? Because then you're holding the bag. You're holding the bag. Okay? You're holding the bag. And when we look at it, when we totally look at it, we can only be responsible for the words that are coming out of our mouth. And we already know that the Father has already declared that each and every idle word we utter, we are held accountable for it. We will be asked about every one of them. Every single idle word, we have a conversation that's coming to us. And those words go along with the thought process. So even if you decide you're not going to say nothing and your mindset is still raggedy, it ain't going to do you no good. Submit yourself completely to the Father as I do with you. Let's all do it together. Let's completely give up everything and submit ourselves as a living sacrifice unto our Father, so that He through us can shine, so that He through us can breathe and share with others the breath of life, His word, His truth. Let's do that. It's not easy because, see, this thing can go in so many different levels, and it has so many different floors to it, so many different levels, so many different depths it's got to it. So much so that our Father in heaven hates a liar. He hates those feet that are quick to shed innocent blood, hands that are quick to shed innocent blood, feet that are quick to run to mischief. He dislikes it, loathes it entirely. So let's not get involved in self-hate by hating what Yah hates, and we end up being one of those things. Because if we are the ones that are running into mischief just to see the looky-loos, if we are the ones that are lying and doing all that stuff, that's exactly what we're doing. We're tearing ourselves down. It's better to get ourselves free. Don't lie to nobody. Don't let nobody lie to you. And don't let nobody make you lie to them. Tell the truth. It's better for you to tell the truth and let that person deal with it on their end than for you to lie and be a part of it. Now, y'all got to deal with you. That part. And He will. As He loves us, He will chasten us. So we're coming right now up on 56 minutes, and it has been a wonderful, wonderful hour. I hope that something's been said here today. I hope that something's been said here today that helps you. Okay? All right? Because that's really what life's all about. Touching one another to add something to each other's lives. And if you're with somebody and they're not adding to your life, well, then that's probably not the relationship for you. And it doesn't matter what the capacity is, whoever I'm talking to. If it's not adding to you, you need to let it go. Because you could quite possibly be missing the real relationship. And this is for any type of relationship, whether it be friends, dating. Are you in a fruitless relationship? Are you dealing with somebody just to say you have somebody, but they're not adding to you and you're not adding to them? Then you probably should just drop that. Move along. Move along. They're not adding to you. You're not adding to them. It's like a sport relationship, just doing it to do it. I want to thank each and every one of you for being with me today. And I want you guys to always remember the one thing that we say on any of the Felicia Lockhart Group publications, and that is, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every single word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High. I want you guys to remember that it's important for you to make sure that you take care of yourselves, and then you can reach out and take care of somebody else after you've done your self-care. After you've ran away, taken off your sandals and ran across the sand, taken off your sneakers and ran across the field, letting your feet touch the bottom of that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ground and beautiful green grass that Yah created, breathing in all of the air and the oxygen fills your lungs, then you can take care of others. I want you to take care of yourself. Take care of yourself on a cellular level. Take care of yourself. Worry about yourself. Then I want you to take care of somebody else. And until we see each other again, please remember, keep it a buck. Tell the truth. And please continue to be blessed. The Lockhart Perspective.